live often. Hey,
Hey, everybody.
how are you guys?
We have a very interesting show tonight for everybody.
I forgot that they couldn't answer me. I was sitting there waiting for somebody to say something.
They will here in just a second, hopefully.
Yeah, we got a few. Oh, so I got into Stephen Duncan's van over the
How
weekend. Dude,
did he turn it up?
I don't know, but I know it was. I'm just really confident it's the loudest thing I've ever been in.
It's
It was, yeah.
it's very nasty. Hey, Drew. Yeah, it's very, very nasty. Hi, Jason. Hi, Eddie.
Hey, y'all. Uh, when he cut it up, I was like, by the time you're thinking, am I going to live through this? Is it unclogging my arteries or anything like that? The note would stop and you get to take a little break, and then it hits you again.
You're like,
Yeah. When people make that look like they're not going like, wow, they're going, can I breathe?
yeah, it's like, oh my
Can I
God,
breathe? Am I going to die in here?
you feel that vein just popping out in your foot. It's like, oh, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, man, it was another level. It's another level, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully one of these times you get in there, he'll turn up.
Yeah, I said I don't know if he did or didn't, but
One favor,
it
so
was,
turn me down on your end because I'm echoing.
yeah, it was loud. And it was a USAC show as far as the audio goes, but there was
He probably didn't run though.
huh?
I said Steven probably didn't run. He just was there for demos.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I don't know if you met Andrew. Hey, Bobby. Andrew Grayer was there. A lot of the Wolfer Warrior team was there, and there were some of the Team South guys was there.
Yeah.
A lot of people had blown woofers, So Drew was there too. Drew had come down.
I think Drew heard a couple woofers there this weekend as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, it happens to the best of us.
That's right. That's right.
So, I'm just trying to read a little of these comments. Sorry, guys.
So we got Jason Lucas in the house, Denny Edie, KC Showdown, man.
There's all kinds of people in there.
Yeah.
Where's the tall kid? It's there. Wow. Yeah, it's getting a little pathetic. You guys know me too well.
Right.
So, we have actually a really interesting guest tonight that's going to join us. Jonathan Price with Down for Sound is going to join us tonight, and maybe we can hear a couple interesting facts about him and his company and what else he has to offer.
You say he's got some new products?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what? I've never went to that site. Let me just go shop. What you think?
He has his own personal 6.5s, I think 8 as well. His own wire, definitely. He's also offering amplifiers now. So, he's getting there.
Looks like I see Sundown is a brand.
Well, he offers quite a few
Cool
brands.
brand. Huh?
He offers quite a few brands. He sells a lot.
Oh, that's a cool bass knob. It looks like a subwoofer. I haven't seen that.
Modelo time.
All kinds of stuff. But I know one thing. If he only has $1 for every decal that I see on them cars, he's a wealthy guy.
Boy.
If he just gets $1 for those, yeah.
His signature as well. He charges for that.
Do it now?
His signature. Every time you find something, he charges for that too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I must be doing something wrong. Oh, okay. I found them.
We'll see, Michael. Never know.
Yeah. It's all kind of stuff, man.
Absolutely. He offers pretty much everything you need for car audio. Batteries, just pretty much everything. I mean, from his brand, if he doesn't have it, all the other brands do. I guarantee it.
Let's see.
He's killing it online. He's definitely one of the biggest online stores.
He's got a lot of he's got a lot of brands. It's kind of awesome. Yep, and there is a down for sound amplifier.
Yes, his new one.
You know what that one looks like? Looks like the old US amps heatsink.
Yep.
He might have bought US amps.
Never know.
They turned to RE, but they're out there, I think, somewhere.
I don't know exactly where they're at, truthfully.
Looks a little different on the end caps. I'm probably wrong.
Hi, Antonio. Antonio Ortiz.
Well,
R&D audio. Well, as he came in?
Steve, no, not yet. Steve Herman says he got his stuff for free. He didn't have to pay for the signature.
Yeah, he's lucky. Steve's a legend, though.
Right. We need to make some decals. Want to be like Steve. Here he is. All right, we got him in here now. Yep. So, y'all, this is Jonathan Price from downforsoundshop.com. Hello, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate the introduction. Sorry, I've never done this style of broadcasting before, so I thought I'd be able to just pop it up on my phone and be good, but it wouldn't work. So I tried to do it on I just got a new desktop set up, and I realized that I don't have a camera on there. So I'm like, crap, I got to dig out my laptop and get it going. So I had to fire it up. So that's the reason for the delay. But I'm here now and can answer questions or whatever.
Yeah. So if you haven't done it before, and I haven't seen it on your end, okay, but somewhere there's a button off over there. You'll click and you can see comments and stuff.
Okay.
You can play with it around.
Oh, I see. Steve, okay. Antonio Ortiz. Okay. Yeah, I see people's comments.
Yeah, cool. So we've never actually met, but my name's Billy, and I run Bass Wars. And now that I see you, your face, and I actually saw a video a couple of days ago that I've seen you at a few shows, right? At least a couple of those shows down in South Florida, right? I just didn't know that I was you, Yeah. So we've been in a lot of the same spots. But anyway, it's nice to finally meet you.
You as well. My pleasure.
So I think to start, man, there were some people really curious from how you got going from start to finish. They say you were from Mississippi. We're based in Mississippi as well.
Oh, really? What part?
Central Mississippi, Jackson, Biloxi.
Okay, cool. I'm I was actually just there yesterday. I actually just flew home yesterday. But Greenville, Mississippi, which is about 2 hours northwest of Jackson area. So
I used to go there. You used to have a big show there every year. It was really big. Yeah, I forget what it was called, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was a massive show. Yeah. It ended up, unfortunately, going extinct because of mostly the locals ruining everything. Everybody come through with their nice rides, and people just started,
I remember that.
Throwing rocks at people's stuff for no reason. Like,
Man.
you just never know why people act this way. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh well, but it was fun while it lasted. It was a big show.
Oh, absolutely. It was definitely.
That was like 2002, 2003, maybe, I guess, when it was at the height. Is that the same one you're talking about?
Now you see why I got these chromes on the side, man.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely all I feel that, I feel it. I hide it well. I feel it.
I used to pluck them out, hit them with the marker and stuff, and then I'm like, Father Time's coming on through.
Right. So what did you do in Greenville?
I was just born and raised in Greenville, so that was my hometown.
Any audio there?
There's a shop called Cartoons, but I never did anything like with audio there besides like getting started. That's where I got hooked on bass. Just cruising down the street with my mom one day, and somebody pulled up beside me with some bass, and like I'd never heard it before, like we do it, or even close to it. And we're sitting at the red light. A guy named Eric Washington, actually, I became good friends with him over time, and still am. But anyway, so he pulls up beside us and he's bassing out. I'm like, what is that noise? Because I never heard it before. Anyway, so that day passed, and sometime in the future, I think at that time I was like 13 or maybe 14. But back then you could get what's called like a hardship license, and you could drive when you were younger than normal driver's license age to like go back and forth to work.
Right.
So I think at 14 or 14 and a half, I was able to get my hardship license to go back and forth to work, and you could easily work at that age then as well, believe it or not. But I don't know how old the people are here in the chat or the chats or comments or whatever, so it might I don't know, confusing to them to be able to work legally at such a young age. But anyway, so I was headed back from work, and my very first job was actually chopping cotton with a hoe, believe that or not, at Delta Pineland in the fields of Mississippi. So that's where I started at as my very first job. I was on my way home, and I heard it again. I'm like, what's that noise? I've heard that before. That's that bass. And I see him pass by. Like, I couldn't see him at first, but it was that thing. You can hear me before you see me. So I'm like looking around. I got the windows down. I was driving my dad's old truck, and I see him pass by. I'm like, oh man, I'm following this dude. I gotta check this out. And then like I follow him for like just probably like 3 miles. He's probably like, who's this creeper behind me? Like following me in the truck. So anyway, he pulls up at this gas station. I pull him behind. I'm like, hey man, like, I don't know, what is that? What's that noise? And he's like, oh, I got some subs in the back. And I'm like, oh, really? He said, yeah. And I'm like, can I see it? And he said, yes. Yeah. So he opened it up, and I don't know what it was. I think it was like 212s, and but he had it done up real nice. He had like this. It was a Chevy truck extended cab. He had like 2, I think, of the stronger Rockford Fosgate subs at the time, and like a 2500 on each sub. And he had like all of his. He was actually an installer at the local cartoon shop, and I didn't know it. But anyway, so he opened up his toolboxes, and he had all the crossovers and the amps done real nice in the back of the toolbox. This is awesome. And he's like, you want to hear it? I'm like, yeah. And I was hooked right then, man. And to see it ripple the roof on the vehicle from the base waves,
right.
It just blew my mind. So that day I was hooked.
Yeah.
So did you think, or I guess, what made you start Down for Sound? What actually gave you the idea and the inspiration and brains behind it, I guess?
There's a couple of different things. I'm looking at trying to browse through the comments as well here to see what people are saying. Hello to everybody that's telling me hello. I appreciate that. I guess my charge for demos, I get asked all the time. That's a rumor. That I do not charge for demos. I'll go ahead and clear that up for you, but I do not charge for demos. The way that got started was I was actually raising money for, what was the guy's name? I can't remember. Some guy. He was like big in the bass community back in the day. I want to say his name was David or something. He lived in Alabama. He got murdered in his vehicle. And anyway, so I had one show. It was Turkey Dragon, Texas, and then they were having like a benefit show, like the next day or the next weekend or something. There was like a few shows back to back. I'm like, how can I help this like cause of raising money for his funeral or whatever? So I'm like, okay, I will ask people if they want to donate to these people or to this cause or whatever. So I had like a big Coke bottle and like everybody shoved their money in there and I delivered it to the Durante, I think was his name, David Durante, something like that. But anyway, so when people just walking by, they're like, oh, he's taking money from these people. It's just like you see, like, oh, he's taking money from these people. He just played his music, so they assume that I'm charging for demos. That was one thing, and then another thing was when I was first getting started with like selling stuff. Like my first little hustle, I guess you could say, was selling stickers and t-shirts. That it shows like my first time was like at Slamology in Indianapolis. I took like a handful of stickers and some t-shirts and stuff like that. I used to carry like all my inventory in like a plastic bag, like it had a few t-shirts in there, whatever, down for some t-shirts. But anyway, when I would give somebody a demo, like, hey, would you like to support me by buying a t-shirt or a sticker? Most of them, like, yeah, I'll buy a sticker, I'll buy a t-shirt or whatever. So like, but again, like people walking by, they just see somebody handing me money as soon as they heard the vehicle and like, oh, he's charging for demos. So anyway, that's how the myth got started, those two things. But anyway, that's how it was. But but to clear the air or whatever, I've never charged anybody for a demo. It's not something that's necessary or mandatory to get a demo. So
right,
I can clear that up.
Funny how those things just take wings and fly.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's always the rumors that do, but the truth, for some reason, and even like say we deal with this a decent amount. Say you have a customer that has a problem or something, and they post all before coming to you to let you have a chance of fixing the problem. They post it all over social media, like, oh, blah blah blah, and you're like, no problem, man. Like if you would have just came to us, I could have like taken care of you. Like it's not a problem taken care of. But like you help these people, but they are so prideful, I guess, they won't even go and make another post or even post on the same thing. Oh, they helped us out. They were great. Like they took care of us. You're like, where does this come from? Why do people do this? Or why is this the norm? But unfortunately, it has become somewhat of the norm of like how people act. And I wish, like me personally, like if I'm dealing with a company and they mess up or whatever, like I feel like obligation to at least give them a chance to make it right. So like if somebody messes up, like I always reach out to the company first. Obviously I have a massive following. Like I could really damage a company if I wanted to, but I always reach out to them like, hey, my item was lost or damaged or whatever it may be. I want to reach out to you first before and give you a chance to make it right. And every time they do. So like I always wish that people would do the same for us. Like and a lot of times it's not our fault. Like the post office loses it or whatever, all the stuff that can happen in shipping, whatever. Right. But anyway, at least give us a chance to make it right. But so anyway, that's that.
Yeah.
So how big is that new warehouse that you have?
It's almost 30,000 square feet.
That's big.
Yeah. So I was just like I said, I was just home in Mississippi yesterday. I actually have a receipt somewhere. Like I was going through some of my old stuff and I came across a receipt from, it was either 4 or 5 years ago, like to October 30th or something like that. A receipt where I had purchased or signed a lease for my first storage unit when I was back in Mississippi before I moved. It was a 10 by 10 storage unit. It was crazy to see that piece of paper like 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
Right.
But paying that deposit on that building, like $150 or whatever, like that time, it was really all that I had. Like, so it was surreal to see that piece of paper as that memory.
That's a
Like,
lot of growth in 4 or 5 years.
yeah, it is.
Very humbling.
Yeah, and I tell people this all the time. Some people might think I'm like a repeater of like telling people how much I appreciate them and how grateful I am for their business and support. But I always try to tell people that I know I say it like every day, but I really do appreciate it, and I know like I could not be doing this without the support of so many people in the Basehead community. So very, very grateful for that, and I know like what I have accomplished in, like you said, such a short amount of time is surreal. Really, like I don't know anybody else
That's not
like
long,
that's
right?
doing this. And I know like a lot of people in the car audio community. A lot of people told me like, you're not going to get rich doing this. You're not going to. It's a very hard thing to do. Like you, just all these things that you hear like people that have done it for a long time. They've had shops for a long time or whatever. You can get by. You can make decent like this and that, and and you can. But I've always been pretty obsessive over, like my dad always taught me work ethic, have a strong work ethic, work, work, work. So pairing that with like just being consistent, relentless, like I mean I wake up 3:45 every morning. Like I'm really obsessive when it comes to going that extra mile, doing like just going. And that's the only thing that I can really come up with as a differentiating factor of, because some people get to where they're like, oh, like we're doing X amount a year, we're good with that. This is fine. Like we're making a good living, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like I'm the one that I've always wanted to like push the envelope. Like what can I push this into? What can I like grow this thing into? And for me to be like signing this like lease on this like new building, 30,000 square feet in almost 4 years, 5 years, or whatever it is, like I don't know anybody else that's done it. So it's just a reminder to me to just keep pushing, keep working hard, try to treat people as best as you can. Like my motto is treat people how you want to be treated. I'm not perfect. I strive for it, but I'm always learning. So that's kind of like my way of going about it.
So what made you want to transition from Mississippi to Las Vegas? Was it this business or something else?
I met my lady, so it was funny how we actually met on Instagram. I know people like laugh about it or whatever, like internet love or whatever. But so I met Jessica. A lot of people like know about her if they follow Facebook and stuff like that, because I'm always posting about me and my family. And that's another thing. I've always been like a super open book when it comes to what I'm doing, how I'm going about it. A lot of people may see it as boastful, bragging, whatever you want. Like especially when it comes to like monetary, like achievements or whatever. Like it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But I've always like, even from my very first days of like placing my first $2,000 stocking order or 4,000 or whatever it was, like when that was all the money I had, like I made a video documenting it, like, hey, this like I'm going for broke, man. Like
Yeah.
this is what it is. Like this is all I got. Like if it works out, then great. Like, but if not, hey, I tried. So, but a lot of people see these milestones or whatever, me reaching like, but it seems like the bigger they get, the more people see the. Well, maybe I'm just hearing or seeing the comments from the.
No,
Trying to be
you're right.
selective
Absolutely.
on what to call them, but I don't know if it's envy, jealousy, whatever it may be. But I see these
Haters.
people speaking louder than the people that may find it inspirational. Because I do have those people that message me. Most people that find it inspirational or something like that, most of them will message me and they'll say, "Hey man, like I've been following you for a long time. I saw where you came from 4 or 5 years ago to where you are now. It's very cool. I appreciate the sharing your journey. Is like I come from a small town, and whatever like state, and like you let me know that like it is possible to go and do something big or whatever. Like I appreciate it, and so it's cool. There's people on both sides of the token, but it seems like the envious or jealous ones like to speak up the most in the public eye, whereas the ones that find it somewhat helpful
Absolutely.
or inspirational, they're the ones in the messages where like private messages where you don't not really seeing that. So but
Right.
anyway, I've always like shared my journey as an open book, like from, and you can go back. I've documented everything through YouTube, and that's where my following really started. That was on YouTube way back in the day. So you can go back and see those videos when I was driving to all these shows, driving 14 hours. Like this is funny. I was working full time at an airport, like just doing pretty much anything. Like I worked at the private part. I mean, if it was cleaning toilets, fueling the planes, like vacuuming the floors, I mean, I did everything. But my dad always taught me, if you want something in life, you got to work for it, work hard. So like I was just like, okay, well, if I work all the time, that doesn't give me a lot of time to spend money, so I can save money. I can save
Right.
money. That was my motto. I don't know if it was the best one to have. I don't know if I took my dad's advice exactly how he was planning on it, but anyway, I just did that. But I would go. So if I did take off and go to a show, when I finally took off a day or a weekend, so say I got off, I worked like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. I would get in my Tahoe. I would have it loaded up the day before. I would drive straight to Daytona Beach. And I think it was like a 14-hour, 15-hour drive. So I would get there sometime early the next morning, and I would be the first one in the parking lot at Daytona Beach. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to do some demos. Like, let me know, come by or whatever. So I would demo all day. I wouldn't even go to sleep that night. So I would demo all day, go out and have a good time at night or whatever. That was what, 10 years ago? I don't know. It was a long time ago. So things were a lot different. I wasn't ever really a out and crazy dude or whatever, but I mean, I would go out with friends and have fun, whatever. But anyway, so I would go to sleep that night, wake up the next morning, go to the show all day, and I would wait until people got their awards and stuff, because I wanted to document, like, video them getting their awards and stuff. I didn't really compete or anything, so I was just documenting them. Like, one of my big inspirations, or people I've always liked, is Pipo Sanchez. He's a great dude. He helped me out. Like, the first time I went to Spring Break Nationals, I think I had a problem with an RCA or whatever, and Pipo always had like this group with him, and I was like, crap, my amp's messing up, or I had an issue with the RCA, and they're like, go over there and ask Pipo for one, and he'll take care of you. I don't even know who this guy is. I don't want to go bother him for like something. And I go over there, and I'm like, hey, my name's Jonathan. I got an issue with him. Oh, let's go see what's wrong with it, bro. Like, so he went over there and said, oh yeah, I got an extra pie splitter or whatever. I'm like, oh, I'll buy it for him. He's like, oh, man, your money's no good for me. Like, here, take it. Like, just get you up and going again. I'm like, I appreciate it, man. So been friends with him ever since. Like, he's always been a great dude. But anyway, so I documented like that. I think that year was when, I can't remember what he hit, but it was when he blew his windshield out, and it got it was a viral video. Like, one of the first back then blowing windshields out was a big deal. Like, not that many people were doing it. So anyway, I had it on there, and I wanted, and I think he won a championship down there that year or whatever. But so I was like, I'm going to stay and document it or whatever. So anyway, they didn't have the awards until whatever it was, 5 or 6 p.m. on Sunday. And I had to be back at work at 7 a.m. Monday. So I literally leave from there, drive all night, pull up at work right when they were opening, and go straight back to work without sleeping. I did this all the time for so many years. I mean, I was traveling. I think my most traveled year was like 26 or 27,000 miles that I put on my Tahoe. So people like people have the saying, they say like, oh, like, you have it nice, like you just ship your truck to shows, you fly out there after it, and you just jump in there, demo it, and leave. Like, you don't know what it's like to go, like, to have to drive the shows and stuff like that. I'm like, they just don't know. It's that saying, like the I think it's the meme or a GIF on Facebook or some social media, like, where there's the iceberg or whatever. Like, people just see the peak sticking out of the top, but they're like, the stuff that you've done below it is so accurate, because like I was doing that for so long. Before, like, obviously people see me like now, like, oh, he just has his truck trailered there, he has people that help him, like, it's easy for him to do that. But it didn't just come overnight. It was something that I've been this journey started 10 or 11 years ago, and I've been working at it like since then. So anyway, so that's how kind of like it got started of me going to those shows and traveling so much way back in the day, getting my following started back then.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit. Let's fast forward here a little bit. Let's talk about some of the new stuff that you have coming out. Some of the JB lines.
The JP stuff. So you can put your name on it too.
No,
Right.
no. How are you?
He said, Jimmy Pittman. He said that he was the original JP. He always gives me a hard time about it.
Right.
I wasn't
But
going to mention that, but okay.
yeah, no problem. So we have, I mean, it's funny, like, so getting started, getting a following going and stuff like that. I know you asked like what made me want to start or how I started Down for Sound or how I got the idea or whatever. Basically, after going to all these shows, like people would eventually say like, "Hey, where do you get your equipment from?" And like for a long time, I was somewhat sponsored by Sundown or whoever Excess Power. Like they were giving me a little bit of discount on product because I was growing a following. I was doing good for them. So I would just tell them, "Oh, go to Sundown to get your stuff or whatever." But after going to so many shows, like it was like one day somebody asked me like, "Hey, where did you get your amps from?" And a light bulb went off in my head. Like, man, I could be selling these people this stuff. I could be providing them what they're looking for. So that's how the idea kind of started. Like, of like I could be helping these people with their needs in car audio. So that's how that started. But as far as moving forward of like what we're coming out with right now and what I have like available. Like there's just a few items and it wasn't really ever my goal to have a Down for Sound lineup or something like that. The real reason that I come out with these products is because of voids in the market, or I see like these, it's just a void. Like, so for instance, one of the most popular amplifiers out there is like a Scar RP2000. Like it outsells any other 2000 watt amp. I would say almost in the world. They're selling currently 300 to 400 of those a day.
Dang.
A day. So anyway, they sell so many of them they can barely keep up with taking care of their own demand, much less like trying to supplement their biggest dealer's demand as well. So I'm not able to get a decent amount of their amplifiers because they can't even keep their own orders filled with them, and they have their factories overseas on unlimited building. So they're as many as they can build, like they're sending them. Like it's untapped. Like there's no cap on like what they can build as far as. So anyway, I see this happening, and I'm like, man. So it would be fairly smart for me to come out with a nice quality a 2000 watt amplifier, and obviously, like I kind of messed up the direction of the trajectory of coming out with the amplifier because the RP2000 is a very budget-friendly, simple Chinese like amplifier that does a good job, but there's no frills or anything like that. And so when I'm dealing with the factory and they're like, "Oh, do you want this option? Do you want this option? This option?" Blah blah blah. They're going down the line. I'm like, "Yes." so basically, like if you can get the option for it, like I was like, "Yes." Like I want it to be. I want any product that comes from Down for Sound or has the Down for Sound name on it to be of good quality. Like I don't want it to be subpar, and even if it's a more budget-friendly option, I want it to be great quality product for the dollar amount. So anyway, so that's how I came about. And the products that I do come out with, say the amp, for instance, we have the mids through Def Fonts in conjunction or collaboration with Def Fonts. They approached me with the opportunity to do a collaboration with them on the mids. They're like, hey, pretty much they were like, hey, we appreciate what you're doing for the brand. You've been a great promoter of it and help and dealer as well. This was going to be our next version of the Arnold and the Sylvester. If you would like, we can do a collaboration. The next speaker could be like the Down for Sound speaker. I'm like, man, and they've always been great. The Def Fonts crew is, I have the most respect for them. They've always been this class act of so anyway, so I was like, also this is great because I know like they're like killing the game in Russia. Like when we go over there, they just everybody runs it. Like they know what they're doing. So I'm like, well, crap, that's a no brainer. They are very skilled in this area, especially in the pro audio 6.5. So I'm like, dude, let's do it. It sounds good. So basically all the homework was done. and it was a collaboration for both of us. It was beneficial for both of us. So that's how we moved forward with the speaker portion of it, the Pro Audio 6. So we have two different ones of those, the D4S 60 and the D4S 65. And then we also just launched the D25 Neo tweeters. They're very similar to the T25 Neo tweeters that they have. But again, like, how many different ways can you make a speaker? You know, like if you go and look at a 6.5-inch speaker, say that DefBonts made their very first one. If you look at that, and then you look at another their current 6.5-inch speaker, like how many different? It's still a 6.5-inch speaker. Like how different can a speaker be in the grand scheme of things? Of course, you can try this cone material, this magnet, this, like, you can tinker with it, but at the end of the day, it's a 6.5-inch speaker. So anyway, obviously we have the people like, oh, you're just rebadging stuff, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I told you the whole story. Like I told you, like, so these people that say that, they're like, oh, you're just rebadging stuff. I'm like, I literally already told you that we're doing this in conjunction or collaboration with DefBonts as a joint effort. So what is your point? Like, I've already said that, but I think that's just like people that have hate or animosity towards me, that they're trying to make me feel or look bad for some reason, even though I've already put it out there that I do these things in conjunction, some things in conjunction with other companies, and I don't take credit for it either. And I'll be the first person to say, hey, DefBonts was the ones, they are the ones with the brains. Like, they have the knowledge and the skills that they've developed over the last 10 to 12 years of being in the business and doing all this research. So that this is their thing that they provided to me to attach it to Down for Sound. So anyway, that's just something that the naysayers bring up all the time. Like, oh, like, he couldn't do it by himself. Like he can only attach him to other stuff that they've already done. And I'm like, do you want me to tell you that I couldn't do it anyway, or I wouldn't be interested, because it would be so time consuming on my part to try to learn every single thing there is to learn about a 6.5-inch speaker to come out with my own. Like, why not? But these people are the same people that try to diss me for not doing my own install. Like, they don't understand that once you get to a certain point that, and I'll tell people, like, I'm not the most knowledgeable person in car audio, not even close. Like, I put that out there all the time. Like, I learn something new every day, and I tell people, like, you should be doing the same thing. There's always something more to be learned in car audio. I probably don't know 10% of what some people in car audio know that's been around for way longer than I have. But I'm always open ears and trying to learn new stuff. But when it comes to, like, doing installs, like, it's just not, especially something like my Tahoe, it's so on this level of over the topness. Like, could I do it? Maybe. Would it take me 17 years to complete it? And it looks horrible? Probably. So anyway, so that's what I tell people, and they're like, don't claim that you know car audio or you do installs or this and that. I'm like, I've always told people that James Taylor has done the install on the, like, I'm not even trying to take credit for that, because I don't want people coming to me saying, hey, can you install my stuff? And then me having to tell them no. So anyway, that's the.
Well, listen. So I'm assuming you get your stuff from the other manufacturers probably here, just like a regular dealer, right? So how's Corona affected you? Are you able to get product pretty well, or did you stock up, or just been lucky, or is it bad?
Stocked up a lot. He bought all the products from everybody. Nobody else can get any product but JP. Haven't you listened to Facebook? He's the only one that can buy any product. Sorry, I had to say that.
This is a funny thing. I just saw where Dan Current. What's up, Dan? He's one of my -- fans. I don't know. It depends on what day we catch him. He'll be a super fan, or I think he means well in the biggest sense. Like, whenever I see him at a show, he gives me a hard time. But I made a video of his I think the expedition, I guess, straight from the coast. Sounded really nice. But anyway, he's always giving me a hard time. Yeah, he's always giving me a hard time. But I think he's grown to love me a little bit. the further time goes. But anyway, I saw his comment. So you sold your soul to Dennis. Not a good look for your other brands you carry. But far from selling my soul, but I do try to have something that I value is having great relationships with the people that I do business with. A lot of these people that I do business with, say Scotty at Exodus Power, Dennis at Def Fonts, who else? Naveed at Crescendo. Like all these people, like I have great relationships with Rusty at DC, where a lot of times when I go to their shows or we're in the same place or whatever, a lot of times we like stay at their house. Like we just have this type of good relationship where it's not just business, it's also a great, like a lot of these people are great friends, and I value obviously you have business and friendships. One of my things is having friendships here and business is right up under here. So like that's my thing is that making sure like treating people as people, like friendships are great, relationships great, and then business is under there. Like so that's what I'm that's what here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
But
was
anyway,
reading
so
the comments.
answering your question for the how has Corona affected Down for Sound? Fortunately, very fortunate that it's actually we've continued to grow and prosper this year, where a lot of people I know haven't been able to. Luckily, we did go through I would probably say like when they really like came out, oh, the scary Corona, everybody go inside, don't come outside for 2 weeks. We got to slow the spread. Like everybody, like they scared everybody then, like because nobody knew it. Nobody knew the data, like behind what was going on, so they could really fear monger people into like, don't touch anybody, don't get within 6 feet of anybody. I don't care if it's your kid, your dog, your whatever. Don't get around anybody. Stay away from everybody. Stay inside. Don't go anywhere. So during that 2 week like thing where like they really scared people, we had a dip, a slowdown in like business, and I didn't really know like how it was going to proceed forward from there. So after that, it started picking up again, and people were like, "Oh, well, if I'm quarantined or if I'm not going to be at work for a month or 2 months or whatever it's going to be, I might as well finish my car audio build." So people like started buying stuff to do their car audio builds, and then like I don't know how long later, but like the stimulus check came out, and like so people obviously just like getting another tax check, people were like buying the car audio with it for most part. So we've done well, so grateful for that. Did we run into problems getting product? We did run into some difficulties, but I like Jimmy was making fun of me. He's like he buys all the stuff or whatever. I try to stock as deep as possible. It's not always a really good thing to stock super deep because sometimes you get into stocking things that. So obviously you want to stock hot movers, but sometimes things that are really hot for these 2 weeks or these months are like you get them on the stock and they're rolling. Then it's like, like they're like, what happened? Like these were moving awesome. Now you got 1,000 of them, and like it's taking you a while to sell them or whatever. But so anyway, sometimes it bites you in the butt, but it's part of business and learning how to like you're always constantly having to adapt and adjust on what's going on. And I guess that's being an entrepreneur or a business owner. You're always trying to adapt and find out ways to move forward in the best way possible. So yeah, it's been good, and we did run into some problems getting some product, but not too bad because we did have we try to stock heavy, so we had that buffer to kind of tide us over in between like running out or the manufacturer running out and then us running out. So we did okay. We weren't perfect. We did run out of some stuff. There was some things that we had a hard time getting, but we did the best we could with what we had to work with. I mean, it was unprecedented times for the people. Nobody do.
Right. Yeah, I was just curious, just because I heard everybody was having a hard time getting stuff, and I'm looking at your site now, and you have a lot of brands, so I could see where you would be kind of in better shape as far as having stuff because you have so many brands. But if they're all having a hard time, then
Right.
Well, everybody's having a hard time because he bought it all.
But and also with that, I want to go ahead and say I was actually going to make a post today. I'm glad you brought this up. It was never my goal to, never my primary goal to buy out. A lot of times I didn't even know I was buying these companies out. I would ask them, like, most of the time I would ask them, like, hey, what can I buy or whatever. Then they would say, oh, we can give you, I don't know, 50 or whatever it may be. And I'm like, okay, I'll take 50. And then like somebody, like I'll get a message from somebody like, you're not, like, why are you buying all the stuff? You're not leaving anything for anybody else. I'm like, I didn't even know I was buying all this stuff. I just asked them how many I could get. That, like, if they told me I could buy this amount and it happened to be all their amount that they had, that, like, what's that have to do with me? So,
Money
anyway,
talk.
yeah, and it helps. The bigger picture is helping, like, for instance, Wolfram, like, it's helped them. They want to turn their product over as fast as possible so they can order more, they can come out with more products, they can expand their offering, stuff like that. So they're able to get paid for this stuff that they don't have to sit on it for 6 months or a year or whatever. I don't know. So it helps them get a percentage on their investment, and then it helps me because I have it to be able to sell it to the companies or the people that want it. But we right now we were supposed to get a truck from Sundown, and it's my goal now to be able to possibly, it may not be everything, but to stock products where I can also help the other dealers. So if they run out, they don't have something, hey, I can call Down for Sound and they can help out with products. So right now we should be able to do it with the SF amplifiers from Sundown. Those have been an insane addition for JP the audio.
Call that a wholesaler, right?
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it was like, hopefully now we'll be able to help them. We have a truck coming from Sundown right now. Like, I bought, it was a lot. It was, I want to say, like, it was almost $500,000 worth of SFB amplifiers from, is like a factory direct, almost a factory direct order. They're like, hey, you see how they're moving? Dude, like, we can't keep you stocked and everybody else, and it's creating a problem. Like, you want to buy pretty much your own almost a container worth, so you can have some for sure to be in stock. I'm like, it's hard to do that, but like, it's gonna put me in a difficult spot, like, financially for a little while, but I'll do it because of the bigger picture, like, because they should be arriving, and luckily it worked out. They're actually going to be delivered tomorrow, so right before Black Friday and the whole Christmas holidays, like, we'll have these amplifiers that are literally like hotcakes. Like, people love them. They're budget friendly, like, and it has a Sundown name attached to it, so like, that's a win-win for people. Like, they love the Sundown name, but a lot of times Sundown only had like the SCV or the Salt amps. They're really pricey. They're top of the line, like, cream of the crop type of amps. Everybody would love to have them, but they're just not budget friendly. And my biggest following is like high schoolers and college kids. So a lot of those people are like, they're really on budget like terms. So anyway, so we have those. They'll be here. They should have been here today, but they should be tomorrow now. So we'll be ready for like all of our customers, and obviously stock so heavy on that now. We'll also be able to help out the other dealers that may come as well.
Well, listen. So I know you don't know much of Base Wars because we're here and you're out there. We're still kind of small relatively, but dude, if you got $1 for every decal I see out there, you can buy a bunch of those containers, man. I'm telling you, I know I do 60 shows a year by myself, and then we got Jimmy and Jordan doing them with us. Dude, I promise you, I see them on every vehicle, almost every vehicle. I mean,
I had a gentleman probably a month ago that actually made Down for Sound. I can't even. He 3D printed them, and I remember I actually sent you the picture of that gentleman. Yeah,
I remember that.
Actually, pretty cool.
That's really humbling, man. I appreciate you sharing that with me. I said, what this has grown to in such a short amount of time it's really humbling is all I can say. And when I go to the shows and stuff and see this as well, it's like wow, like because some people I go to shows and they're like they literally get out of breath, they're hyperventilating, like they're fangirling and stuff. I'm like, I'm just this dude from Mississippi. Like I don't need more audio too. Like I'm just a bass head too. So it's some surreal moments has happened for me. But yeah, it's seeing so much support, seeing so many videos, going to shows, seeing Down for Sound. It's like a Down for Sound army of shirts everywhere. Like
Man,
it's really
I am
cool.
telling you, I went actually counting my own decals. I went to this Bayou Showdown, and I didn't. And we're new, right? 4 or 5 years. But so I went looking for my Bass Force decals in the cars there. And we weren't there as a company. I was just there, getting some footage and stuff. Yeah, and I counted 23. But dude, that's when I noticed that all the Down for Sound stickers on people that you didn't even have audio.
Yeah.
They are everywhere.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's cool. Like my mom and dad and sisters and like their boyfriends, they all have them on their cars too. So, but it's another thing that I've always wanted to provide more value back to like the customers, and we throw in freebies with a bunch of current. Where's my decal? No, he wants a Bass Force decal.
I have plenty.
We throw in freebies with a lot of the orders and stuff, and it's obviously, I guess, paid off. Like you said, like seeing, I never thought it would turn into a sea of people because, so like for instance, if you buy like a Sundown X12 or something, it comes with like a freebie pack, which is like a free T-shirt, sticker, lanyard, voltmeter, and stuff like that. So these people are getting all these things thrown in on top of free shipping and like guaranteed lowest prices and stuff like that. And this has been almost since day one. I'm like, how can I provide more value back to the customer so they like not only like buying from JP, but it's always more. It also provides them with a like extra goodies. Like when they open the box, like not only is my X12 in there, but there's a shirt, there's a sticker, there's a lanyard, there's a sucker, like all these little. It's like a mini Christmas time when they open up their package. It has these.
Right.
So anyway, but I've been doing this for like the past 4 or 5 years, and I'm like, for the longest time I go to shows, I'm like, where are all these shirts at? Where are all these stickers that I've been giving away all this time? Like I'm not seeing them anywhere. Like they're nowhere. And then so finally, like last year, it's like I started seeing a couple here and there, but like last year is in 2019, but this year is in 2020. Even though the show season was all messed up when I did go to shows, I'm like, holy crap! There's so many down shirts and stickers plastered everywhere. Like, man, it's wild. So I can only imagine. I can only imagine next year.
There's another company out in Vegas too. Shitnam, I think is the way you say it. They have a lot as well. So the both of you guys got just. I mean, it's just unreal.
Yeah. It's I'm not. I think I'm not. I know like one of the guys that has something to do with it. I think he is here, but I think the main guy is in Washington or Oregon or something. I'm not 100% sure. I know they have a hard on for me.
Yeah. No. So I'm gonna ask. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Steve is in Las Vegas, and Hammy, I believe, is I want to say somewhere close to Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm not for sure exactly where Hammy is, but
yeah, because I usually see him on the East Coast. I guess Hammy. He's been to there's Center. I saw him at some of those shows over on the East Coast, though. Yeah, but so listen.
Good friends with both of them. They're actually both great guys, believe it or not.
So listen, Jonathan, if you don't want to answer this question, just grab your ear and I'll misdirect somehow, okay? But so I'm a Kicker fan, right? And several people had asked, what are your thoughts on Kicker? Would you ever do business with them? I just wondered if you do or don't because you have so many other brands.
Man, Kicker is garbage. I would never.
Do what now? Johnson's gone, y'all. He's gone. We put him out of business.
All right.
No, actually, I what's his name? Can't think of his name. a guy from Kicker reached out to me, and they actually paid for me to a plane ticket. I was supposed to come tour the facility and everything, and it just like with COVID, everything happened. It didn't end up coming to fruition, which things happen for a reason, and I'm not mad or anything like that. I think I do have a. I think Kicker is a great company. They're definitely a model, a staple in the car audio community. They have good products. A lot of R&D. They like it. I don't think it can be rivaled by probably anybody. Like the amount of R&D that they put into their products. I know a lot of people want to jump on the bashing bandwagon because it's more of a mainstream name brand, and you can get it at Walmart or these main retailers or whatever. But people, it's funny. I was just having a meeting with my staff today, or my team members, and I was telling them like it doesn't matter what you do, there will always be somebody that's going to talk trash about you. It doesn't matter what it is. You can be the loudest person in town, and they'll say that, oh, I could do it on less power. Could be not the loudest person in town, and like they're like, oh, you're not loud. Like there's always going to be somebody talking trash. So anyway, my 2 cents on Kickers. I think they're a great company, a staple. And I didn't know. I wish I could remember the guy's name from there that reached out to me that had it all set up. But he actually said that Steve, the owner of Kicker, actually watched. He'll be going by and he'll be watching my videos. I'm like, what? There's no way. That's crazy.
Steve's a cool guy. He's in tune with the social media for sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, nothing but respect for Kicker. I think they're a great company. They have obviously they've done it right. They have a ton of things going for them, and that's why they're crushing it and doing so good so many years later. You see tons of companies pop up in car audio and go out of business. I've seen them personally, but obviously the ones that like Kicker, JL, Pioneer, Rockford, like these old school ones that have been around forever. How many other companies were started during those times, and they may have blown up for a little while and then they fell off and went out of business, or they blew up to a certain amount, kind of stayed somewhat flatline. They got comfortable. I don't know, but there's different types out there. So, but Kicker has obviously always been that one to push the envelope, and that's why they're so massive. They've done a great job. They've constantly added to their staff, their products. They've just done an awesome job. So yeah, nothing but respect for Kicker.
Yeah, the facility is awesome. If you get that opportunity, you should probably go do it. It's
absolutely 100%.
It's really cool.
Oh, I would for sure. I mean, and I would pay for my own ticket. Like it was humbling for them to reach out to me and offer that and send that to me. But I mean, me being like a car audio, especially like. I'm more like I love car audio and I think it's cool. I think bass is awesome and everything like that. But like I love seeing how businesses run on the backside. How does this machine like keep jiving and that's like I love seeing that type of stuff. So yeah, I would if the opportunity or they presented to me like, hey, if you can make it out here tomorrow, hey, I'm there, man. You let me know. I'll be there. Like I'll make it happen myself. You don't have to pay for me. I mean, I appreciate you offering to take care of me and everything, but I'll take care of myself. Like I would love to experience that, see that operation, and meet those people that have been pioneering car audio for so long.
I got to spend a lot of time last year with some of the engineers, and probably the guy that reached out to you is probably Kip, I'm guessing.
No, I know Kip, but it wasn't Kip. It was actually.
Well, but anyway, it's a good core group of people, man. They're really good people. I mean,
for sure.
Good to the bone.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for you while you look. Who actually helps you make you build your boxes? The ones that you sell on your website, the pre-made ones.
Who makes them, or what?
Who helps you design them and make them?
So Drew Jones is the primary designer, like Basahawk Production. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, and I try to utilize people to do. I see Kip Lindsay just messaged. So hey Kip, I appreciate you. Thanks for that, and I definitely take you up on some lunch. I'll even buy it. It doesn't matter to me. But anyway, so Drew Jones at Baseaholic does most of the designs on the enclosures. Again, I've been friends with him for a long time. As far as building, man, again, business, like you're always trying to adapt and see what works best. I always wanted to have things and try to do things. It reminds me of Jacob Fuller. He wants to do as many things he can in the United States, but it doesn't always make sense in two different ways. Sense as in dollars, sense as in making your sense in your mind. But I was trying to use a guy in Nevada to build the boxes of Profabs, and for the first few runs, like I did, and this seems to be a trend for people dealing with me. They want to attach themselves to Down for Sound and me for whatever reason it may be. So, and I have high expectations. Like I have some people might say unrealistic, like, but I'm always pushing the envelope. And when somebody tells me like, "Hey, I'll have this done in 2 weeks," I'm expecting you to have it done in 2 weeks. Like, and if it goes past that, hey, that's a strike. Like, and this is only going to happen so many times. But I have so many people watching me, and I'm telling so many people that, hey, this is going to be finished in 2 weeks. And when you don't finish your job in 2 weeks, and I have to tell this person, hey, like it wasn't finished because it essentially it falls back on me. I'm the one telling them this, so it's my fault. But I'm telling them this because the other person. So anyway, I was giving a person a shot, and the first couple of runs went well. Like they stayed on schedule and everything like that. But after that, it just fell off. Like there was excuse after excuse after excuse. I'm like, this isn't a good look. Like this isn't what I want for Down for Sound. So anyways, I always have people hitting me up from overseas wanting to like me to source over there because they're looking for work obviously as well. And I'm like, man, I really don't want to do this. And I keep trying to give the guy a shot. Like, okay, we'll try it again. We'll do it again. Like, why do you keep telling me this and you're not delivering? So anyway, now we get them done overseas, containers at a time because of that reason. I tried multiple times to get them done in the States, but people just can't keep up with the demand. They think they can, but then they're like, holy crap, like this is more work than I thought it was going to be. So anyway, so that's what it ended up happening. So now they're sourced overseas for that reason.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I just wanted to know who made them, not the whole long story. Sorry.
Well, I didn't like. I couldn't tell you who started making them without telling you who makes them now. And that's again, like I'm a pretty open book. I try to like fill people in on things like in questions that most things aren't a big secret. Some people try to keep them that way, like, and it's fine. Like if people want to do that, but like, I've kind of been an open book. But,
Yeah, I saw Drew at the Bayou Showdown show this past weekend. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Drew's
I think
okay.
he's got a pretty good work ethic as well.
Yeah, ask him where he got it from.
Yeah, right.
He was. It's funny. Like Drew went through a stage of he was working overseas for a little while, and he was making like really good money doing government contract work. And I was telling him the whole time, I almost felt like I was trying to like mentor him in a way. I'm like, man, please start putting some of that money back. Don't blow all your money. I know I sound probably like a dad to you, but like, man, you'll thank me one day. But anyway, like he did, but he kind of got off track for a while, and I had to call him out. I think he owed me, I don't know, he owed me something, like maybe some money or to pay for something. I like my last resort to, if you see me calling a person out online, just know that I exhausted every other option like that I could to make this right or to make them make this right. So anyway, I ended up posting like something like Drew owes me some money or something. Like it wasn't like 2 days later, like, hey, I got your money, man. Here's your money. Don't like. But ever since then, like he's been like great. He's done a good job and everything. So
Huh.
ethic under on a new level, maybe. But anyway, so it was good.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So, do you have any other down for sound products other than the amplifiers? Like, I thought I saw a bass knob. Do you have
Yeah,
a bass knob?
I probably couldn't even tell you like we have some other stuff coming out as well. We have down for sound bass knobs, two different ones. One is a metal one with a rubber grip, and it has a soft turn on click. Like people like that a lot. It also has a built-in bass knob. You have another one that's like a 3D printed subwoofer like looking bass knob that people like those a
That's
lot.
the one I saw. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. People like them a lot. And these are obviously the ones that go in line with RCAs, so they can be used on any amplifier. It's not amplifier specific, so it can be used on any amplifier that requires input RCAs to go to the amp. So yeah, that obviously all of our apparel. We have down for sound lithium battery. Um, it's a small, compact. It was primarily made actually, specifically for people that are adding 2 to 5,000 watts uh, to their vehicle, and to be able to put it in the back as a supplemental battery and help them out a lot with that. And it's been great. Like people have been um, buying them like crazy, like almost like hotcakes. Again, like we just bought like another run of them, so we buy them 1,000 at a time. We bought the first 1,000, I think. Um, March or April of last year, then this year, sorry. And then like we just did like I just okayed like another production like about a month ago. So we're turning them out pretty good. So anyway, that we have some other stuff in the pipe. Might get in trouble for saying what we have coming out. But anyway, we got some cool stuff on the way. That again, it's like products that we start having problems with supply, so we come out with like a house brand of it. We have some. I can go ahead and tell you some sound deadener coming out. It's very very nice. It's actually what is used in a lot of very high end vehicles and superior to a lot of stuff out there. It's not the cheapest. Again, it's almost like the amp. Like there's a lot of different options out there for 2,000 watt amps. I don't want to be the cheapest option. I want to be a great option, fair value price of that option. So, obviously, if they want a cheaper option, like I got maybe 10 other types of deadeners right now. So we can take care of you either way it goes. Like, and if somebody calls, they're like, "Hey, I want crescendo deadener," hey, we got you, man. Like, I'm not. But if they call and say, "Hey, what deadener would you recommend?" Obviously, we're gonna say down for sound deadener if it's in stock. But if somebody specifically calls for a brand, it's a standard procedure up here for us to help that person with what they're looking for, not try to sway them onto down for sound products. So I've told my staff, like my team knows this, like if somebody calls looking for something specifically, help them with what they're looking for. Don't like say, "Oh yeah, we have that amp or whatever," but hey, I would you really need to get this one instead. Like unless they ask for other options or whatever, like let's just keep them going down the road that they came. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's some things like that. What else?
So are you?
Let me ask you, how many staff do you have? How many people does it take to do all you're doing out there?
A lot of people. I've just added a lot. Well, I guess you could say a lot. 4 more people here in the last couple of months. So we're at 10 now.
10? Yeah.
So I was operating it super lean for a long time because I mean, if you probably know about business, but your largest expenses are usually your staff. Um, but if your staff works great for you and constantly going the extra mile, then they will pay for themselves. Basically, they'll it makes sense. So anyway, for the longest time, people were like, how many people are working there?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just me and 2 other people." I'm like, "What? Like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you doing this type of stuff?" Like, and even now, they like people call and they're like, "Oh, I thought you had like 40 or 50 people there." Like, I'm like, "No, man. Like, I try to keep them as efficient as possible." Yeah. So right at 10, one is or a couple are satellite. Like Jacob Scott is my social media strategist. He helps a lot on my social media stuff. He does a great job. He stays in Florida. I fly him out every, I don't know, probably quarterly, to like just be out here in the mix. Like when you're at a place, you get a feel for it. You get like it's different than operating satellite, obviously. So anyway, yeah, we are constantly growing. And, I was, like I said, operating for a long time, and it was putting a lot of hours on people. And me being the business owner, I don't mind working 80 or 100-hour work weeks. Like I'll do it because it's my baby. But
Right.
and I even told them, I'm like, look, I'm not expecting you to do this for forever. For like working 80 or 100-hour work weeks. If you work with me through these times, like I will learn from them. I will add more staff and team members so you can have your time off. You can work closer to a normal work week, 40 or 50 hours or something like that. But obviously, we know like during the times that are coming up tomorrow or in a few days, like we'll all be working 16, 18-hour days, and they're ready for it. They understand that this is the process that we do it down. So, but over the past few months or 4 or 5 months, they all been able to take days off and they have like that.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Are you building something new, or are you in the Tahoe?
Am I what?
Building something new.
I don't have anything. People approach me all the time with like build offers, I guess you could say. Because again, like, and I understand like both sides of it, the business side of it, the like knowing somebody's super popular in the car audio community, they want to attach their name to me or Down for Sound or whatever it may be. I'm not saying I don't have anything that, like going right now, and really even thoughts of doing anything right this second. There's just I see the bigger picture, which is it's already hard for me to juggle having the vehicle that I do have, like getting it to all the shows and doing all this stuff, much less having another one. Something I learned, or a person I actually learned from is Def One. Like they have so many competition vehicles, like they are everywhere. Like they're all in the warehouses parked. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like the logistics of trying to tame that beast of getting all these vehicles to a show, like having a person run each one of them. Like I'm like, man, that's that's not me. Like I'm not looking to get into having a bunch of different demo vehicles or even another demo vehicle at the time. Who knows like what the future may hold? Sometime I mean I would say definitely sometime in the future, like it will happen. But as far as a ETA or even being in the thought process right now, it's not.
Yeah. Well, I like the dash in your Tahoe. I've got an '89 model truck, and I'm just to start building it. And I want to do what you have in there, but I don't know what it is, and nobody's been able to tell me. It's like a module, iPad and a module, I guess, or something.
Oh, how it all works? Oh, okay, yeah. So the people would hate for me to actually know something about my build, but so there's two iPad Pros in the dash. One of them is hooked to the OBD2 sensor. The one that's like behind the steering wheel is hooked into the OBD2 sensor. It's called Dash Command, and it just reads like obviously all the gauges and stuff. It creates.
What was it called?
Dash Command.
I got my pencil.
There you go. So anyway, that's how that one's ran. And the other iPad that's over towards the side that we do the music with is ran through I guess you could call it a dongle called a iSimple, and that converts it from the Lightning jack out of the iPad into a RCA, and then it goes into so that's what that creates, and then the RCA's go into my Rockford 0.3 processor, and that's how I control my volume. And that's how that's done. But yeah, all that was done by James Taylor at High Voltage Car Audio in Birmingham, Alabama. Before somebody says, "Oh, he's talking about
Yeah, that's close to us.
So yeah, that's how it works. But yeah, it's been really cool. That's been the most, I would say, somewhat bulletproof type of setup for the system going through the 360 into the iPad. Before that, I had like a head unit and stuff like that, and man, I was trashing head units every weekend. Like it just destroyed them. So
Yeah.
it wasn't a good setup. But once we swapped to the iPad and stuff, it's been way better. It's not flawless, but it's been way more reliable. For sure.
That's cool.
So everybody wants to know what the Tahoe actually do, numbers wise.
136. No, it does. So when I took it to Mike Smiley is the guy that actually built the enclosure in Nashville, Tennessee, 5 or 6 years ago before I left to move out here to come to Vegas. When I went to go pick it up, I told him like everybody has different perceptions of loud, and like it's just that like people have different perceptions of loud. Like a 160 at 20 hertz might be somebody loud as 165 at 40 hertz or something like that. And so there's way different perceptions of what people like. So anyway, I told him I'm like I don't want to come pick this up unless it's doing a minimum of 163 sealed on the windshield. So like don't even call me to come get it if it's not doing this. So anyway, when I went to go pick it up, it did a 163.9, I think at 43 hertz or something like that before it broke the windshield. So somewhere around there. That's before there was all types of things wrong with it at the time. I had not near enough lithium power. My alternators weren't working. Like there were so many things, and I had the older style of the sundown subs, like, and not as much power as I do now. Like, but I just tell people like it does like 163 or so. Like, even though we've done
that's not loud. I don't care what frequency. Right?
He's like being a parent; he never cares. They just say it's loud.
Yeah.
The same way.
It depends on who you get in there. Some people get in my truck and they just sit over there like this sucks, and the next person gets in there and they're just like, "Oh crap, this is awesome! This is like the greatest thing ever," or "I can't take it." So there's just different perspectives of loud is all it is. So it's nothing crazy. For the most part, it's there's way more rides out there that are way louder. Like I tell people that I'm like, it's not the loudest thing out there, even though people in the YouTube comments tell everybody it is. Like they're like, "Oh, JP Tahoe's louder than everybody." It's like you could. I see comments on like some of the craziest videos. There'll be somebody competing, getting like a 173 or something. Like there's a comment down there. I bet JP Tahoe is louder than this, no doubt, man. And everybody's like, "Yeah, bro, I bet it is too."
Yeah, well, I've not sat inside of it, but I've walked up to it while it was playing, and I walked by when I think you were actually playing it. So I know it's loud. But I got into Steve Duncan's van over the weekend, and that's a really loud for me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Steve Duncan has a beast for sure, man. He's a great dude for sure. Like I love Steve. Like he's an awesome advocate for car audio. Like his builds are over the top. Great,
right?
Great. Like I have nothing but positive to say about Steve and everything he's doing for car audio. And yeah, his new van is brutal. Like so I have a thing like everybody wants to get me in their vehicle while I'm videoing so they can make JP tap out or I hurt him or whatever. So I tell people I'm like, man, if your truck or if your vehicle is louder than mine, I'm not getting in it. I will bow down to you. Right. I will tell you your vehicle is the loudest thing ever. Like I'm not getting in there. I can't remember whose I got in, but it was somebody's van. It was doing like a 67, 68-ish, something like that. And this was like a couple of years ago. And they got me in there like, "Oh, just get in there and get a little demo real quick." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like I wasn't paying attention. I jumped in there. I'm holding the camera, and they're like, "Wop, wop," and they're playing like at high frequency. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, like straight crushed in my chest. Like,
right.
I couldn't breathe right for the rest of the day. Like I thought I had a heart attack or something. It was so anyway. From there forward, I'm like, if you're louder than I am, you're the man. I'm not getting in there.
So
I'll
next
video
year,
everybody that will get
scraping
in there. I'm not getting in there.
next
Yeah.
year it's the coast. I want you to get in my nitro.
See, that's what people do. They want to get in there. Like, I'll video
It's not
everybody.
louder
else
than
in.
yours.
Right.
Yours is louder than mine. You have nothing to worry about.
Well, I'm not the kind of guy that goes and watches a lot of YouTube unless I need to learn something, and I do spend a lot of time on doing that. But somehow I saw a post, and I don't know if you noticed it, in my background, this little car. This is a smart car, and we built that at Pro Audio Center, right? I helped build that.
Yep.
And just that link. That's the first time I had seen you, whatever, and it was in that car. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that kid was super cool. He definitely blew me away with that. I was so impressed with that system.
Right.
I was like,
Beautiful
"Holy
car.
crap, this is so awesome."
Right.
Yeah, I thoroughly, and that's one of my favorite things to do is get demos from these kids or whatever that they've been working on their system, especially his. You can see like they put a lot of work into that. It's a very nice put together build and everything.
Right.
So much respect to him, especially being so young and knowing like so much about the system and everything.
Yeah.
That really is cool to me, and seeing, and if we're only being like on 2,000 watts and that wow factor of like I'm like, holy crap.
2400,
I
yeah.
even got Steven Duncan in there. I'm like, dude, come
Yeah, I
on.
saw that.
He's like, you can see the look on his face. He's like, what? This is crazy. So
Right. For
that's-
sealed,
that's
that. We were going to port it, but then we realized that the engine was under the enclosure.
okay.
So to change the oil and stuff, you got to pull a sub.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there's a
crazy.
lot that goes into that. You know, that car, it took about 2 or 3 months to do, but it's because we kept running into little things like that. But you change the oil through the enclosure.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
But it did turn out to be impressive for what it is for 4 sealed 12s. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Like I told people in the video, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Did you have any more questions? You had a list.
Well, I think we pretty much answered all of them. Yeah, I tried to be diligent here.
Right.
No, I think
I appreciate you coming on with us.
My pleasure. I really appreciate y'all having me on, and it's humbling to know like so many people follow me and pay attention to what I'm doing, and you value me enough to have me as a guest on the show. So
Oh yeah, no man, we really appreciate it. We really do.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir, and have a great night.
All
Yeah,
right, y'all.
you probably either have to go to work or go home, huh?
Yeah, I
I
got a
can
lot of
see
people that
Jessica
are
running
waiting.
around back there, back and forth behind your door. She's ready to
Yeah,
go.
they're actually waiting on me to come out there and autograph a bunch of stuff. Like it's crazy. Like people request for me to autograph like so much of their things that they buy from us. Like when I come back from a trip or something, or even if we're busy, like I'll come in and like they'll have tables of stuff pulled out, unpacked for me to autograph. But again,
Dang.
I don't know. I don't understand it. Like I'm nothing special, but so many people want.
Well, there's work problems to have.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's just humbling. It's hard for me to fathom sometimes like that value me scribbling on their equipment for whatever reason. So, but I just take it in stride and try to keep people happy. Keep like, if you want me to sign your stuff,
Well, we definitely appreciate it, and we would look forward to having you back on here again when you have some more time.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll see you at some shows next year. I guess you're still going to go to more shows.
Yeah, for sure. I always try. There's always a few that I always try to hit, which is like Scraping the Coast. I try to go to the Slamology in Indianapolis, a Sundown Audio Show in North Carolina. Like and then the Exit Power Show in Kentucky. Knoxville, Tennessee. So I try to hit these ones for sure, and keep it moving.
Yeah, we're going to try to. I think Jimmy's got us hooked up with Slamology as an organization there this year, and then the Excess show. I'm going to try and get us in there, and then the Sundown show. I'm going to try and get us in there too. So
yeah, great.
We'll see, but we're small. We're growing. You're going to see us again. I assure you.
Cool.
You know, we're not going to quit either. We're just trying to do. We're
Are
trying
you
to grow.
still having your show in
Skateboard brand
January
across
out
the
there?
country as well.
Awesome on keeping it growing. Yes, we're just still gonna have the show in January. So I don't think obviously it'll be as big as it could have been. Obviously we kept or the CES was here, but we'll still have a get together and have a good time. So not gonna like give up like everybody else seems to have. I mean, we were just having some meat like we had 2 meets over at Down for Sound at the other location before we moved or whatever. I would just post like, "Hey, we're gonna have a meet or whatever, like Saturday night after 4 to 8 or 4 to 9 or whatever." Man, the last one. There was so many people show up. It was insane. Like it was bigger than like any other car audio show I've seen in Las Vegas. Like myself, I was like, so we flooded our parking lot. They were parked all down the street, all in other businesses. Like, I mean, it was. I mean, did a live video where I was driving through like all the people. Like, yeah, it was insane. I'm like, this is out of control. This is way too many people.
2 years ago. I remember it. It was crazy.
Yeah, but that's the power of social media and having a following like I do. Like I can make a post and it gets shared 100 times and it gets seen by 100,000 people, and just 1% of those people show up. That's 1,000 people. Like, so it's they can be used for a good and great thing. Obviously, they can be used for other things like not good things. Like, but it just depends on what direction you want to take it. And I have always tried to keep it on a positive note. And like I said again, like always give people a chance to make dealings with me right before making a post about like, hey, you don't need to shop at this place, or hey, screw such and such. Like, go post on their page, shut their page down, or something like that. Like, because it like having such a massive following, you have the power to do things like that. You can persuade people to like go do something like that. But I've never done that. Like, I always try to like really think about the bigger picture. Even if somebody like I've had people do me wrong. Like, I don't, even though like they may have done me wrong, like I don't want to be. I think karma will come around to them in their lifetime, and it not have to deal with me. So like I don't have to be the person that takes them out. I guess.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I do have to get back to work. They're knocking on the window to go get this stuff out.
That's
But
cool.
I appreciate you having me on once again. It's humbling, and we will let me know if you want me to come back on, and I'd be glad to.
Okay, I'll shoot you a friend request when we get off from the message earlier. So be on the lookout for that. Anytime you got something new you want to come on, we'd love to have you.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Thank you. Have a great day, sir.
All right, have a good night.
All right, sir. Y'all, I hope
Yes, sir.
you enjoyed your evening. Maybe you got to learn something about Down for Sound Shop. And we will see you guys next Monday around 7. How's that?
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.